Each year, Taft awards Poole grants to students in honor of Bob Poole's life of service. Poole grants support students as they pursue public service, ecological work, wildlife, or environmental studies. And last year, 12 students used the Poole grant to travel to 9 different countries, as well as to do service in the United States, which is certainly an option. And today you will hear from 2 or 3, because one of our potential speakers is actually speaking to the trustees right now, students about their experiences. And each experience is very different, but ultimately a remarkable experience for the students. And you will be hearing more about the Poole Grant and the Page Grant fellowships in the next couple of weeks. So pay attention, learn what's going on out there, what the possibilities are, and be inspired. So our first speaker is Claire Comey, who's going to talk to you about Haiti.
Okay. Hi everyone, for those of you who don't know me, my name's Claire and I'm a senior. And this summer I used the money received from the Poole Grant to go on my 3rd mission trip to Haiti with an organization called the Haiti Plunge. I'm going to tell you a little bit about what I did there and the impact that mission groups can have while they're in Haiti. So each year the program takes several teams to Dessaab, which is a small village up in the mountains above Port-au-Prince. The program's been going on for 28 years and going back to Dessaab, so they've developed a really strong relationship. And I've actually became involved with the Haiti Plunge because my aunt was on the first team 28 years ago. Okay, so this was my team that I went with. And this is where we slept. It was a big communal co-ed room full of bunk beds. And there was no running water, no electricity, and walls so thin that the donkeys kept me up all night because they were braying. And to shower, we would either wait until it rained or hike 2 hours up to the waterfall. We also didn't have a bathroom, but we had a porta potty. Unfortunately, the porta potty had tarantulas. So I was definitely roughing it a little bit. This is Sister Eunice, and she is the director of the program. She's an incredible woman, and I've become really close with her over the past few years. She's done so much for the people of Haiti. She also has a ridiculous sense of humor. One time, one of the Haitians used the word Dutch incorrectly, and she says, "No, a Dutch is something you smoke." And someone goes, "Sister," and she says, "What? I wasn't born a nun." So one of my favorite parts of Haiti was being around the little kids. They are so adorable, so energetic, and they're so excited to be around us. We would teach them mainly math and English, and that was great because most of them can't afford to go to school, and they were so excited for a chance to learn, and to learn just simple things like writing their own name was such a huge deal for them. Even outside the classroom, they would beg us to give them math problems and teach them new words, which is definitely different from here at Taft because we don't beg for more problems. And then we would also play sports with them. Their favorite sport to play was soccer, which most of them had never played before. They don't have sports equipment, but they were all really good right off the bat. And as you can see, my light. They don't wear shoes usually, and some of the kids who did have sneakers on, they were worn out, didn't fit, and they would fall off during the game, and they would just keep running. So we organized a tournament for the kids, and this is the winning team. So these kids are always smiling and laughing, but when we put the medals around their neck, they all had these really, really serious expressions on because it was such an important moment for them. They've definitely never been awarded anything before in their lives. So that was great. The other type of work that I did while I was there was manual labor to just improve the living conditions and repair some of the damage from the hurricane. So one of the worst parts of the area where I was in is the road from Port-au-Prince to Dessab up in the mountains, and it's really critical because they need it for transportation to get things in town, to get to their jobs and all that. So we worked on smoothing out the road, and we also planted fruit-bearing trees to create a sustainable food source for the people there. The little kids would always try to help us, as you can see, but they usually just got in the way. It was really cute. And, okay, so this is Ben, who was one of the men who was really close with the Haiti Plunge teams, and he's standing in his garden here, which he's grown over the past few years. He started it with help from the Haiti Plunge teams and the tools that they gave to him, and he asked us to take this picture. We were walking past his garden, we're working on the road, and he got really excited to show us his garden, and he was so proud of it. And so I included this picture because I think it really exemplifies what's central to the Haiti Plunge's mission, which is not just to donate food and clothes to the people of Haiti, but really to give them the tools to facilitate their own sustainable means of meeting their needs. This is the youngest Haitian I met while I was there. His father is Edens, and this is Whedon's. And then what was different about this trip, each time I've gone before, it's really easy right off the bat to bond with the little kids. But this year I also spent more time with Haitians who were around my own age and talking to them about their lives, getting to know them. And it was so incredible to develop a friendship with people whose lives were obviously so vastly different from mine, but we were still had a real friendship and had things in common. So this is Dimitri, the one shaking his head, because they speak Creole as their language, and it's close to French, and I take French. They would always have me try to speak it, but I was terrible, so he's laughing at me. And then the one next to him is Janu, and he's 21 years old, but he's a senior in high school just like me because his parents can't afford to send him every year. So overall, my 10 days in Haiti were honestly some of the most eye-opening, memorable, and enjoyable, really, of my entire life. So I would definitely recommend to all of you to apply for a Poole grant, take a chance, go somewhere new. It'll definitely be worth it. Thank you.
Hello everyone, my name is Taylor Rado, and I used the Poole grant to travel to the Island School in Cape Eleuthera, the Bahamas this past summer. The Island School offers a variety of programs ranging from the 12-week fall and spring semesters to 1-week terms specializing in fields such as shark or lionfish research. I chose to participate in the 4-week summer program and joined 39 other high school students from around the world. Although Eleuthera is surrounded by beautiful beaches and breathtaking scenery, the Island School is not just a place where students lounge around on the beach all day. My days were busy from the second I woke up at 6:30 until I went to bed at 11. I studied, let's see, sorry. Saying blank. Okay, sorry about that. I studied marine and human ecology, tourism and development, and spent a week researching sharks and sea turtles. I participated in an intensive course on aquaponics, helped clean up local trails and farms, and participated in the monster run swim. I could elaborate about every detail of my trip, outlining what amazing things I participated in while I was there, but I think it will be more beneficial for me to tell you the aspects of the trip that left the biggest impact on me. When I first stepped off the plane at Rock Sound Airport in Eleuthera, I was both anxious and nervous to meet my new classmates and teachers. I can vividly remember the first dinner circle where we all huddled around the flagpole with the Bohemian flag waving vigorously in the breeze. We all stood silent, and each and every one of us felt vulnerable in our new surroundings. It was this common feeling that we all shared which allowed us to become so close over the short period of time we spent together. The activities at the Island School were both physically and mentally challenging for all of us. Some students were better equipped for certain activities, and we drew from each other's strengths as we faced these experiences. Whether it was a 6-mile run at 6:30 in the morning or the 7-hour kayak trip against the current, we learned to depend on each other for support and push each other to continue. We worked together as a community to face our fears and celebrate each other's accomplishments. This feeling of working as a community for the good of the whole group versus individuals is something that has been ingrained in me here at Taft, and suddenly I felt very comfortable. When I returned to that same airport 4 weeks later, I didn't want to leave my new Island School family, but I knew that the relationships I built on Eleuthera were ones that I would keep for the rest of my life. It's not working. Academically, I thrived on the hands-on approach to learning that is the cornerstone of the Island School philosophy. I would spend my mornings in marine ecology class, learning about the various types of coral, and my afternoons exploring the ocean, researching them. I especially liked that we were allowed to focus our studies and research on what interested us. I became so passionate about my studies because I got to choose what I learned about. The freedom to explore the oceans and find what I was interested in led me directly to sea turtles. The first time I saw one up close was so exciting, and I knew that I wanted to study them further. They were the most majestic and beautiful creatures I had ever seen, and I knew that I wanted to help the researchers at CEI study them. I spent much of my time tagging the turtles and working with the researchers, gathering data on these beautiful creatures. I could read about the sea turtle and its habitat in my bio book back at home, but the experience of actually catching, tagging, and performing hands-on research with professionals was something that was unique to the Island School. The Island School inspired me to live a more eco-friendly lifestyle. In human ecology, we learned about ways to farm more sustainably. My class visited local farms to help them reallocate their land in such a way that would make them more environmentally friendly. We wanted to share our new knowledge with some of the Bohemian farmers so that they could be more efficient in the construction of their land. We helped a farmer named Ian by building him one enormous pig pen that was based off of a permaculture design we learned about in class. The pen had 6 different smaller pens within it that alternated between chickens and pigs. The pigs' waste would provide great fertilizer for the soil, and the chickens were skilled at picking out all of the bacteria. Since the Bohemian soil is poor for harvesting crops, Ian would spend a great deal of money on artificially manufactured fertilizer. We provided him with a way to fertilize his soil naturally. The design was self-sustaining and would lower his cost for upkeep, thus increasing his income. We also contributed to the community of Eleuthera by helping clean the nature preserve trails. After being on Eleuthera for 4 weeks, we learned to appreciate the beauty of the island. Even though we were only there for a short period of time, it became a second home, and we wanted to maintain its natural beauty. We successfully cleaned up 35 of the 40 trails at the nature preserve and helped them to make it more aesthetically pleasing to attract visitors. Words cannot really describe how amazing my trip to the Island School was, and I cannot be happier with my decision to go. I encourage all of you to step outside of your comfort zones and apply for a Poole grant, and I promise it will be an experience you will never forget. If anyone is considering applying to the Island School, I would love to speak to you further about my experience. Dana Biddle, Alexa Lambert, Tommy Robertshaw, and Olivia Page are also members of the Taft community who have attended. I would like to leave you today with a quote from Walt Disney. "We keep moving forward, opening new doors and doing new things because we're curious. And curiosity keeps leading us down new paths. Let your curiosity lead you." Thank you.